Hello, Scarlet Marvel here, and welcome to my first ever Weekly Marvel News Roundup. This week has been pretty eventful for Marvel, so let's get started. Last Friday, Marvel released their 31st feature film, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It came in at a respectable $106 million domestic opening weekend and $225 million worldwide opening weekend. The domestic opening weekend was actually the third best in February, only behind Deadpool and Black Panther. Looking past the opening weekend, it's made $131 million domestic total so far, and $261 million worldwide total so far. So it's looking pretty good, I'd say. Not amazing, but pretty good. Moving on to the critical reception, it's gotten a 49% with critics on Rotten Tomatoes, the second lowest of any Marvel film, and an 84% audience score, which is significantly higher. Over on Metacritic, it's gotten 48 out of 100 from critics, and a 5.9 out of 10 from audiences. Interestingly, this audience score is a lot lower than the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. And the cinema score is a B, which is tied for the lowest of any Marvel film. If you want to find out more about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and my opinion on it, make sure to check out the review that should be up on the channel today or the next day. Also last Friday, Marvel announced that The Marvels has been pushed back to November 10th, 2023, and it also received its first teaser poster, which I must say is one of, if not my favorite, of Marvel Studios' teaser posters. Now looking a bit further than just the films of this year, we also got a casting announcement for Thunderbolts, with Steven Yeun from The Walking Dead and Nope joining the cast of Thunderbolts in a currently unknown role, but said to be quite significant for not only Thunderbolts, but the future of the MCU in general. I'm excited to see what role he's gonna play, and let me know if you guys have any ideas in the comments below. Now, looking even further past Thunderbolts, insider Casey Walsh reveals that Shang-Chi 2, Eternals 2, and Doctor Strange 3 have all been added to Marvel Studios' internal production calendar. Now, of course, take this with a little bit of a grain of salt, because this is an insider and not really an official Marvel announcement. But this is an insider with a good track record that many news sites are already reporting on, so it's looking highly likely. I'm guessing these films will come out in Phase 6 around 2025-2026. Now looking on to some shows, we've got a couple announcements related to X-Men 97, with Wolverine voice actor Cal Dodd confirming that X-Men 97 Season 2 has begun production. Additionally, Beau DeMayo, the head writer of X-Men 97, has confirmed that Season 1 is still set to release on Disney Plus this fall, despite many delays happening with Disney Plus productions. Now, while not technically part of the MCU, I also want to mention Voices Rising, the music of Wakanda Forever, which is a documentary series exploring the making of the music in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This was set to release this past Wednesday, but it's instead been delayed to February 28th, and will be releasing on Disney Plus then. Now moving on to some Sony Marvel news, we've got some new Funko Pops for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, giving us some better looks at some of the characters already announced, like Medieval Vulture or Spider-Man India, while also giving us some new looks at characters we haven't seen before, like Spider-Bite and the Scarlet Spider. Additionally, Tom Hardy has confirmed that Venom 3 is now in pre-production, so expect some announcements coming soon about Venom 3. Now let's move on to comics. This has been a pretty big week for Marvel Comics, with a large amount of comics releasing, in addition to 3 events for the summer being announced or teased. Let's start by going over the comics that released this past Wednesday. There was Amazing Spider-Man number 129, Facsimile Edition, which is the first appearance of the Punisher. Amazing Spider-Man number 20, Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain number 1, Carnage number 10, Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 5, Deadpool number 4, Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise number 4, Immoral X-Men number 1, Peter Parker and Miles Morales Spider-Man Double Trouble number 4, Planet Hulk Worldbreaker number 4, Punisher War Journal Base number 1, Sabretooth and the Exiles number 4, Savage Avengers number 10, She-Hulk number 10, Star Wars Dr. Aphra number 29, Star Wars Yoda number 4, Strange Academy Finals number 4, Thor number 31, and Tiger Division number 4. If you're interested in any of these comics, feel free to check them out at your local comic store. There were also the announcement of 3 events coming this summer. We only really got major information for one of them, so let's start there. Ultimate Invasion, a 4-issue limited series by Jonathan Hickman and Brian Hitch, is releasing on June 21st, and will be a return to the Ultimate Marvel universe, which hasn't truly been seen in a big capacity since the 2015 destruction of the Ultimate Marvel universe in the Secret Wars event. Of course, it's made some small appearances here and there since, but this is the first time we're getting a whole comic focused on it. Now this 4-issue limited series is going to be focused on Miles Morales, the Maker, and the Illuminati. So it's pretty exciting to see the Ultimate Universe make a big return so long after it was destroyed. And I'll be excited to see what Miles in particular is going to have to do with this whole event. Now the other 2 events we're seeing that coming soon are Contest of Chaos, which was announced to release this summer with more details coming next week. We don't really know anything about it so far, but the image shows members of the Avengers, X-Men, and Fantastic Four in an all-out brawl. So it's giving me kind of Contest of Champions vibes, but we'll see what the chaos in the title exactly means. Lastly, we have another summer event, which is a Star Wars crossover event of the 4 Star Wars comics currently out. We don't have a title for it or even a description, but more information should be coming soon. Outside of comics, movies, and shows, there's still a couple Marvel announcements left for this week. First up, with toys, we have a new wave of Marvel Legends figures announced for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. If you're interested in any of these figures, they're already up for pre-order, so feel free to check them out. Now, for the final piece of Marvel news this week, we have a theatrical announcement, with Rogers the Musical, which first appeared in Hawkeye, being confirmed to come to the real world, coming soon to Disneyland. Not really any announcements on specific release dates yet for the musical, or any specific details on length or things like that, but there was a cute reveal trailer featuring Peggy Carter, so make sure to check that out. Now, before we get going, I want to introduce the bonus nerdy news segment. This is going to be a small segment at the end of the Weekly Marvel News Roundups where I go outside of Marvel to look at what else is happening in nerd realms, because, I don't know, I feel it's important to address things outside of Marvel every once in a while. And in particular, this week, we have a really important franchise that, admittedly, I'm not super familiar with, but that has been culture defining in pretty big ways, in movie spheres, nerd spheres, and pretty much just every sphere. We have the return of the Lord of the Rings. Yep, you heard me right. Warner Bros. CEO David Zaslav has confirmed that multiple, not just one, multiple new Lord of the Ring movies are in development, with the original Lord of the Ring trilogy director Peter Jackson potentially being involved, as he said that the company is keeping him and his co-writers updated with every step of the process. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe this is when I get into Lord of the Rings. Anyways, thank you for joining me, and let me know what news interested you the most, or what news maybe I missed. Leave it in the comments down below. Maybe I'll mention it next week. And thanks for joining me. Bye.